But Bill Gates was warning about this happening 5 years ago. It's got millions of hits on YouTube. Bill Gates was standing there and saying what you were saying before in terms of what we should be doing in terms of preparing and protecting people. So how can he be on both sides of the equation there?
He comes from a family of eugenicists. Isn't it fucking amazing that Bill Gates and his team were gaming this scenario just before Christmas? Hey, tell him. I'm telling the truth.
5 years ago as well.
They're gaming it. They're running drilled for it.
I don't see how you get there. I don't see how you're getting there.
I was waiting all night to use the word, to use the C word. Bill Gates comes from a family of eugenicists. He calls vaccination in terms of reducing the global population. That's an inversion. Successful vaccination programs shouldn't reduce the fucking population of the world we live in. It should make people live longer and help people to procreate. I'm not going to get into it because we don't have the time. And
can I just jump in there though, Richie? I've got to do the devil's advocate bit, as you understand. A good vaccination and a wealthier nation does lead to a lower population growth.
You're saying that people are more intelligent. They don't have.
No, it's true. No, it's not even intelligence. It's not that. In a more educated, healthier, wealthier society, people tend to have less children.
Yeah.
That doesn't take away. I mean, if you're of the opinion vaccines will kill and depopulate, I can't change that. But I do.
I never said that.
I don't mean just you. I mean our listeners.
I'm not saying it at all.
I think Gates's opinion was if more people are vaccinated, there'll be less illness. People will be more confident in having less children, as we do in the West. Because as you know, Bill Gates's playground is Africa and India, where he's caused a huge amount of problems with his vaccinations. Let's not overlook the polio, and this is verifiable, Graham. The Indian government have kicked him the fuck out. There have been more cases.
You know why they've done that, by the way? Sorry to interrupt you. Do you know why?
No, go for it.
Because Bill Gates basically is the World Health Organization in 2020. What Gates and Big Pharma do is they go to the poorest countries in the world and pay people a pittance to trial their fucking drugs on. That's what they do.
100%.
Right? And
100%.
some fuckhead now is making comments there about some Irish bloke talking about Gates being a eugenicist. I tell you what, I'm well up for it tonight. I'm fucking. That's what they do. They go to the poorest countries in the world where they won't be sued. They kill people in these trials. They walk away from it. Bill Gates can't stop viruses on his own fucking software. Give me a break. And he's leading the charge to vaccinate the world with these organizations that he's involved in, these shell companies. People have to start asking questions.
That's what I said. Someone just in chat there, Stephen Thorne said he was kicked out of India. That's what I mentioned before. The amount of polio-related paralysis linked directly to the vaccinations because they were using every vaccination is a certain amount of culture. It's not often live, but some are in an amount that your body can adapt to and learn to fight. We know how vaccines usually work. Now, someone asked there, why are you pro-vaccination if you know about Gates? Because a lot of vaccines have helped us enormously. It's my opinion. Shit the bed if you like.
I don't disagree. You know,
a lot of vaccines. Now, I have always spoke to Richie about this, and I said, I don't agree with the loads that they're getting. You know, and the sheer numbers, especially in America, it's insane.
6 years of age.
Every vaccination my son had, we were spoken to by the doctor. Maybe we were lucky with good GPs. We discussed the options. He was offered a chickenpox vaccination because of a condition that he had. However, with his specialists, no decisions were made. We monitored, we decided. And when it reached the point, we all agreed we don't think that's necessary now. As it happens, he got chickenpox. He got a grand total of 3 scabs, and that was it. And it went. Now, the other way, the reason they discussed is it could have hospitalized him and caused him permanent damage. But it was monitoring, talking. Now, because I'm pro-vaccination as a concept and overall, and I think there are many things we can vaccinate against and beat, it doesn't mean I believe we should go to Bill Gates. Fuck yeah, stop experimenting on those poor African kids. Get over here and pump us full of shit. No. There are grey areas. Everyone wants an absolute. There are no absolutes in life. There are grey areas, and that's where discussion comes in without attacking,
But
like we do.
But there is none. There is none. Not in commercial or national media. There is none.
No, none at all. And it's disgraceful. But what that leads to is, you know...
It's Hayden, I've interviewed a woman whose child was given 6 vaccines in one fucking day. The child died 2 days later. Alyssa Nethery in New York. This is insane. And of course, vaccination, the concept of it, going back to the genesis of it. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. You take some, you take a little bit of something nasty on its own. You introduce it to the body. The body does something. The body builds up antibodies against it. In theory, there's nothing wrong with it. But when do we start putting, and I don't want to get into this because we'll be here all fucking night, but start introducing thimerosal, fucking mercury, all this stuff, aborted fetal cells. Don't laugh, it's fucking true. I mean, it's insane. It's insane. And then you say a child needs, no, I believe the older GPs, the ones who really work to become a GP, when they say, let your baby roll around in the fucking shit and cat piss when the child is only a child, let it fucking ingest all the bacteria in the world, let it get measles, let it get the fucking mumps, and what it does is that child builds up a very robust immune system to help it deal with far more serious things in later life. Yes, of course, 1 in 1,000 or 100,000 children will get the measles and it will be bad. So fucking what? Tough shit, Paddy. Those are the fucking odds. But for the rest of us, I got measles, I got chicken pox, I got everything. I look pretty fucking good now for 45. Running
hold up. Yeah, and I agree with that. I want my little girl to get dirty. I want my little girl to run around. But I don't want her to get fucking polio and be physically disabled for the rest of her life. And what you just said about the 1 in 1,000 or a 1 in 10,000 that might get seriously ill, the same goes. That same thinking applies to the woman you just talked about, whose son had vaccines and then dies 2 days later, because that's your 1 in 1,000 for that, and that's the exact attitude the other way around.
We don't know what damage. There's a brilliant GP in California whose name I can't remember. He's a real doctor, according to you guys. He's a genius, very highly thought of. He was on a show last year, and the YouTube video before it was pulled had nearly 600,000 views. What does he want? He just wants to do a study of 10,000 children. 5,000 to get all the fucking shit and 5,000 that don't. And then look at them again when they're 30 years of age.
Well, I'd like to say we've had the best of both worlds in the Hewitt household, and I'm sure it's in the Hewitt household. Vaccinations were given.
You got
all of them.
When you were a kid, you got the whole lot, didn't you? Chicken pox.
But here's the thing, at the same time,
I didn't actually. I didn't.
Vaccinations were given to my son. And he is also allowed to get filthy dirty and always has. And he has had in his life, in 8 years, he's 8 years old now, Richie. 8? In 8 years, he's only been ill enough to stay in bed for 1 day.
Brilliant.
So I think the problem is we always look for things to blame when things go wrong with our kids, whether it's vaccines, whether it's not vaccines and things like that. It's just making informed decisions as long as they are our decisions. However...
You make an excellent point there, if I can interject. Of course, the notion or the idea that these things will irreparably harm or give autoimmune diseases to every child who gets them is foolish. That's not the case. You're absolutely fucking right. But I believe that some vaccines, some have been proven, categorically proven, to cause harm in some children. Not at all.
Yeah. It's not only that, some adults as well. There was that. What was that? The girl, the thing that girls get in the womb. They were just doing the testing recently on
babies.
No. It's 3 letters. I can't remember the name of it now. But they had a vaccine for it and they tested it on boys.
The old BCG. Is that what you're talking about? The old BCG, no?
I can't. Some STD that girls that affects girls.
Gardasil. Yeah. The virus vaccine.
HPV.
That's it.
And harm to people, that one is. No doubt about it.
It's insane because they gave it to the men, reacted really, really badly to it. And not only in terms of society, we do tend to look at men as a lot more expendable, but I'm not getting into the men's rights side of things right now. But it's insane to me that the entire focus of, well, this could make women safer. And that, you know, and therefore they've minimized these terrible effects on all the men that have it. And I agree with you there. They shouldn't be giving that shit to men. The risk is so insanely low, you know, and it's ultimately, if you can't put a fucking condom on, then it's your responsibility as well, isn't it?
Well said, my friend. The whole idea of this whole HPV fucking thing is that girls are fucking sluts. That's what it is. Think about it. No, but it is. You're saying girls are promiscuous. Give them the fucking vaccine because they're going to be going around fucking shagging all around. It's bollocks. It's bollocks. And what they've done in Ireland is they've made lawyers out of thousands and thousands of women who have never heard of David Icke or Jim Mars, God rest his soul, or anybody else, or Dr. Mercola. They've never heard of any of these people. These are ordinary fucking people, Hayden, whose daughters got that vaccine and it destroyed their fucking lives.
I've never argued with you on that point.
I know, mate. I know that. Those girls ask questions. The health minister in Ireland, Simon Harris, says the mothers are fucking child abusers for asking questions. It's insane. But anyway, I'd
say with David Icke, though, Eamon Owens had it right, though, didn't he? I can't hear you. Sorry, what?
No, I'm being an idiot.